y'all ready for part 2. About to give them a little chopperooski. Should I say whack it off? I feel like I shouldn't use the word whack them off. We're gonna whack them off. Then we're gonna cut a hole in the hood. Well, it's time to cut the vibranium. Probably the worstest way to do it on the car, but you know, it just bees that way sometimes. See that? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you something. Be a man. Let it come apart. All right. Super bad idea doing it that way. Sawzall, bad idea. It's not a fire blanket. Bad idea. So we got the downpipes and the wastegate dump tubes cut about how I think they're gonna be. They might be a couple inches too high. I'd rather have them high, so after I cut the hood and everything. Gavin came put the intake on. And what we're doing now is we've measured for the intercooler. The one that we ordered has not came in yet, so I don't know what's going on with that. So I went ahead and ordered a core so we could build our own intercooler. That way we can measure for a radiator and get a radiator coming. And then once it's all done, build charge pipes and everything. I got the throttle body off so I can weld a V-band, a Vibrant HD clamp to it, which I got right here. So I've got that done, cooling off. And what I do on those, I take the little motors and stuff, anything that can kind of melt, take that off. And I'll weld a little at a time, let it cool off, because it still has this pressed on one right here. So make sure all that stays nice and cool. And the intercooler core is actually a GTR fitment. This is what they use on the GTRs. It's a 2000 core, or 2000 horsepower. I think it's like 22 by 14 by 5.5. It's good for 2000 horsepower. And I've got this little tank started. I gotta build this, I gotta cut this other piece later, next. We just bent this up, welded this piece on. And once I build this other piece welded on, I'll drill and weld this one on here. And this is gonna be the outlet to the throttle body. So this piece will end up mating up to that one. And once I have this tank built, we'll weld it. And then I'm gonna take the bumper back off, make some tabs like off the crash bar or something. And the hood latch is gonna be all right here. I'm trying to keep the factory hood latch. So we'll get it all mounted and then measure and build the bottom tanks. That way we can wrap from the turbos into it. Those are gonna come in and hit through the bottom that way. So it'll be like a little triangle like this on this one, and same thing over there.
Nose job, gotta have a corn cob sitting on side curb, boo hoo, sob sob. This day, that day, every day the same day, every day the same day. Can't be, no way. He woke up one morning, and what did he see? He saw a blind man trying to spit on me. Try stink, hairy face, 1 foot rat tail, hobnob, no job, corn cob junkie. Dropped out of high school, then became a flunky. I met this man, he had an honest face. He stole my wood, used to ruin my base. I started to think, and then I realized you learn a lot from a man who has red eyes. Dry, yeah, dry. Don't ever ask me why. Ask why. Why do you ask me why? Blind, so blind. Blinded both eyes.
It's not the best, but it's honest work. See some welds up inside there. So you can kind of see it's going to come out about right here, 45 up. I got to tack a piece of pipe to this and cut one of these bends off, one of these angles off. I think that'll be about close to how it needs to be. I got these brackets welded on. Basically, I took the core thickness, added a 1/4 inch, and that's where I welded them, because I'm gonna put another aluminum 1/4 inch plate. Kind of boxy, but we'll clean them up, drill some holes in them. I got these plates marked. All this is gonna be welded to the intercooler side, 1/4 inch thick. Then there'll be 2 bolts going to those brackets. I got this one set up here, marked up, lined up. About to give that a weld, flip it over, weld that one on. Boom. Got that all welded up. Turned out pretty nice. 1/4 inch plate. Both sides. Oh yeah, it's gonna look good. Gotta drill 2 holes in this and on the other side. But I'm gonna drill those 2 and those 2 first. Bolt it all up there, mark this one, and drill this one based off of those holes, just because the steel is harder to drill through. I like to get them done perfect. Transfer the holes to this one, then drill them. And then that'll be mounted up. And then we're gonna start on the titanium. I'm gonna go ahead and do the little titanium charge pipe, and then figure out the bottom tanks to run from there to end of the sides. 'Cause it's gonna come down, it's gonna come out. So make a 3D drawing here. Get the picture. So it's gonna be straight down, but there's gonna be a pipe coming out. It's gonna go. Got that old fat boy intercooler mounted. And what we're gonna do here is come up to this. If you can see, our angle is off. So this one is really pointing at like this angle. So I guess I'm gonna tack this one to a piece of straight pipe and try to cut it dead on that with the bandsaw. And then add that little straight pipe in there.
When he woke up, he found it hard to believe, and when he opened his eyes, it's even harder to conceive. A bubblegum story to a bubblegum day. I blew my bubble in a bubblegum way. Try and try. Don't ever ask me why. Why? Ask why. Why do you ask me why? Blind, so blind. He was blind in both eyes. Why? Ask why. Why do you ask me why? Don't ever ask me why.
So I've got this piece of charge pipe built. I welded up here a little bit. I'm not gonna weld it out yet just in case something else changes and I have to cut it back apart. Pretty confident in it, but I need to weld the vangeon clamp to that set of bends, that weld, and that weld. I have a blow-off valve flange and a MAF flange coming. I didn't order the MAF or the blow-off valve flange yet because we just got this precision blow-off valve. It's new. I think they just come out with it. It's kind of neat looking. But I wasn't sure what flange it was, and ended up it's exactly the same as a tile, 50 millimeter. So I ordered one in titanium, and I forgot a MAF flange, so I ordered it. It'll be coming in the next couple of days. But for now, what we're doing is measuring for this intake. I got a little line right there separating the center of the intercooler. We're gonna come down on the angle and then shoot over and come straight back up. And it's not gonna be like boxy, like straight down on both ends. So I have to factor for an angle to both sides so that air will kind of funnel down or funnel back up in there. We're gonna get one built and see how it turns out. So just like that, got 3 inches, 4 1/4, 3 1/4, 3 1/4. This is back swept about 3/8 of an inch from this straight line. Looks pretty square. And then this is 11 inches here. And so you take all those measurements kind of figure out where to bend it. Turn it out. Let's see how it turned out here. Oh, that's awesome. That is gonna be nice. Perfect. That's gonna be sweet. Bend up, I'm gonna cut, clean up, bend up, second one of these. Take the intercooler back out, lay those up there. And once I have this one and another one, I'm gonna measure for another plate, cut the plate, I'm gonna just bend it. So it's gonna be like a little triangle piece, fits up in there, and weld it. That'll just kind of deflect the air up. Then I'll build a piece to box this in, bore a hole in it, and weld this to that. Put the intercooler back off. Top tank up here. Our two pieces, two bottom tanks. I just cut and bent up this little piece right here. And it's just gonna go right here. Whoops. About like this. Fixing to tack it right there. Tack the two together and cut those two end tanks so we can get it welded out and put on the cord. We have the cooler in, and it is ginormous. So it's in, it's bolted up, and we have the titanium end flange, a piece of titanium 45. We're gonna put this 90 on a 45. And I've estimated this piece right here just a minute ago based off of these scrap. So I always keep a little scrap aluminum pipes and stuff like that. Mainly because if you're going to test something, you can grab a couple pieces to see what's going to fit the best. Super simple. 45s, 90s, 45s, right up into the turbo. So it's just tacked everywhere. It looks pretty good. It's a 10-inch piece of straight pipe to a 45 to, if that's 10 inches. That piece is 10 inches. I don't know what that size is. But you can see it looks pretty good. 45 to a 90, straight to a 45. The turbo. Man, that looks good. Looks good. Whew, buddy. Shoo, buddy. So it's getting kind of late. It's Sunday night. Tomorrow, I got a friend coming over. I got to help him on his car, but next day I work on it. Duplicate this side best we can. It's gonna look freaking dope. This car's turning out so good, man. Jeez. Gee golly. Just titanium everywhere. Well, one more time we got the intercooler out. We've got this really nice CNR race. It's a drag race radiator. It's got just really nice welds. This thing is definitely made by a professional fabricator and not a 10-year-old girl overseas. So we got custom Taylor's Insane Turbo Systems intercooler These are 20 ORB. This is a fill neck, and yes, it's on the bottom. I'm gonna cut it off and weld it shut because I'm gonna have a fill tank near the top, like way up here, because this is gonna be too low. And I think there's a couple of bungs. There's like 2 bungs, one right there, one over there. We're gonna plug those. And then this is what would normally be a drain. We're gonna plug that, or let the steam port run into it if I run one. And then this is gonna be, I'll probably cut this off and do like a 10 or something, or a 12, and then let my catch can or my coolant fill it up right there. And so yeah, we're gonna do some reconfiguring on it, but it's pretty much exactly how I wanted it, and looks really nice. I flipped it upside down because right here on the driver's side is where the thermostat housing goes, and it's 2 lines, comes off the head and the water pump, so they're just gonna whip right into that instead of going all the way across into that side. So we're gonna plug a couple holes, patch up a few things on it, make it look really good. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna weld a bracket to the intercooler that comes up and bends over this, and probably it's gonna go over the top of this one. I'll take these bolts out and let it come over here and bolt it. So we can take the radiator out. Same thing over here, come up and over. That way, whenever he needs to, he can just unbolt it and slip it straight out the bottom. So we're gonna leave a little room right there so we can still service the clamp. We're gonna let this kind of be flush. And like I said, because this core is 13 by 22. This radiator, they count this right here, but from there to there's 13 by 22. You can see it's like perfectly flush and flush. So we're gonna do it here. It kind of works out good because it normally would have the radiator kept on this side. That's where you get your extra little added piece, but we're gonna cut it off and weld it shut. So I've got a couple pieces drawn out here. Here's my diorama. My holes 5 on 5 center, 5.5 on center. I'm gonna cut this one, clean them up, cut them in this, bend them in that, drill them, weld them to this, bolt it to that. And then this will be this whole unit will be ready to go back in as an assembly. And you see, I've got it spaced off because it's actually got some mounting tabs down there, but it's just not how I want it to work out. So I spaced it off there with some 1/4 inch plate on both sides, and something's a little floppy jog with the radiator, but it's all right. We're gonna build those and get that mounted up.
Oh,
So what we're gonna do for filling the radiator is we're gonna build a little coolant tank over here. And this is a piece of leftover exhaust pipe for Sean Madden's Corvette. I'll flip a little clip in real quick. This was his downpipe. It's a little scrap piece I had left over. I just cleaned up. I'm gonna put it right here. There's already like a little bung on the radiator. So I'm gonna weld this in the farthest back corner. We're gonna have a fill line like this, and it's gonna be a real short run to that. So I'm gonna put it all the way in the back. That way it has enough room for some hose. Always gotta have room for your hose. And then I'm gonna do a radiator fill cap over here and let the pute kind of face down over there. Get all that welded up and find a way to mount it. So fill bung, got some pretty alright welds on it. Saw on the time lapse it's welded heavy on the inside, give it a little cleaner look. It's a Vibrant Performance fill cap. And so basically, sucker's still burning hot. About right there like that. It's going to fill into this bung right there. The spout, you can see that Sharpie line is going to shoot out that way if it overheats. Everything is 100% complete on the turbo kit. Looks bad as a bone. Intercooler is gonna get so much freaking air. Went ahead and pulled. You gotta go inside the car to the rocker, kick panel, unplug the fuse, the wiring harness from the fuse panel, and it comes under this battery box. It comes out, so you gotta pull the fender liner out, then back through this way. I pulled all that out, because it's not gonna be in there anyway. Man, it really cleaned up this side. It flops down over here. Gavin has a bracket. It's going to bolt up here, and the harness runs back through there. Let's see if you can see. So it runs through this hole right there. Shoot. Yeah, it runs through this hole right there and then through that hole. So now what it's going to do basically is run on the outside. And so instead of it being in the engine bay, it's going to run in here up in the fender well and through there. And then the fender liner will protect it, keep the heat off of it and everything. So looks way better without the fuse panel in there. You can see charge pipe. That's what I wanted to do. Instead of the turbo pipe and running around, once the headlights in here and everything and the covering, you wouldn't be able to see hardly any of the charge pipe. So I like being able to see all that real easy, and you can leave the bumper on, leave everything in, take this clip and clamp, that clip and clamp, that whole pipe will drop out of there. So Gavin's coming tomorrow. We're gonna cut the hood for the turbos and the downpipes, see how far they stick out, and then true them up some more now that I've got them facing straight, because he's bringing a GT500 hood, and we have like 24.5 inches here. The vent is 22 inches. So that's why I had to, instead of leading them in, I had to straighten them up. But that was on my bad. So got everything plumbed up. And what we're doing now, it's Friday night. About to build another catch can. Like if you haven't seen my GT350 catch can video, that's what we're doing here. So it's the battery box. You're gonna put the battery in the trunk, and we're gonna build a catch can look similar like this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have two air filters right here. And we're gonna have 2 AN bungs right here, and then the hoses are gonna come in and catch these 2 right there. So we're gonna get started on that. Well, today's the day, boys. Gavin came over yesterday. What?
Where's that loading corn?
I don't know. Gavin came over yesterday and we trimmed up the hood. It's not in my pocket.
I don't know where it is. I'm going to drive my bicycle.
All right. Gavin came over yesterday and we trimmed up the hood. And in the middle of doing all that, something come over me and I got a little sick. But long story short, basically got this hood kind of roughed in and ready for somebody more better to cut hoods, to cut his GT500 fiberglass hood. There's a scoop for it. We decided that we're not good enough to do that, so this is going to take a little more precision than I'm comfortable with. But everything's good. We got everything cut to height on the downpipes and the dump tubes. So those look good. Got our O2 bungs in. I showed him everything about just the finishing touches he's gonna have to do. Everything's tidied up. Got our catch can over here. It needs to be, so the battery hold down, like the little plastic wedge that wedges the battery it's hard to see, but there's a bolt hole right there. It's a plastic wedge that goes down in there with a long, tall bolt. So this is the same exact size as a battery. So the wedge that holds the battery down holds this down. So I got the lines running, bam, and bam. This clamp's gonna hold this off of the wastegate dump. Same thing maybe over here. And then, let's see what else. He said he's gonna maybe delete the heater core, but we'll see. If not, all he's gotta do is get a fitting for this. Take this out, put a push barb fitting in there, run his boost controller to this line. This will supply just wastegate spring pressure. So yeah, that is everything. This thing is freaking wrapped up. This thing is just awesome, man. Just everything. You hear my stomach growling. Sorry about that. Jeez. I just ate, I swear. So everything's done, man. Looks great. Got the Motion Raceworks race thermostat delete kit. That looks so much better. That's one thing these Coyotes are just lacking is cleanliness on the coolant system. They have this ginormous plastic Y with all these lines. There's so many coolant lines on a Coyote. And I understand, you know, the purpose behind it, but sheesh. So we got, if I would have put the radiator higher, we wouldn't have had to have this. So set up like a old school radiator system, something like that would be in this car. And actually, that's like in this car. So you just got a radiator cap with a radiator and 2 radiator hoses, and that's it. So since the radiator is low compared to the engine, this is just a fill port basically, but it's going to be used as kind of an expansion tank also. So it fills through this line, and then there's your 2 radiator hoses. So, and Cody's filled through the water pump right here, just like, you know, normal whatever, and then it goes into the, I guess this is, yeah, that's the head. But yeah, that is it, man. I can't wait to see this thing out in the daylight. It's gonna be freaking crazy. Some good lighting on this thing is gonna be awesome. I just love how much of the intercooler you can see through here. You see the titanium pipes. It just, man. Very, 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 very cool. I just can't get over. I can't get over it, man. Just amazing. And that's it. I'm gonna hate not having this car in here. It's beautiful, it's awesome to look at. I just love it. When people come over, they're just like, oh my goodness, like that's crazy. So, if I don't shoot an outro while Gavin's here, this is gonna be it. And I hope y'all blow this video up. Y'all normally do with Gavin's videos. This is an awesome build. It's really one of my favorites, to be honest. Sorry for everybody else. We'll see y'all in the next one.
How many fucking racetracks and shit that we pull up to, and people are just like, what on earth? Like, I know so many fucking people are gonna flood this shit whenever they see it.